What's up and welcome. Dreadlock Pocket, aka BigBwainWarlockMain, and today we're gonna overthink some things. So, Arc 3.0 is just a sleep away by the time I'm making this video. Hopefully it's already out by the time you're watching this video. And I just felt like I wanted to speculate a couple of builds, some builds I've been using this past season and definitely gonna be taking into season 18. So without further ado, come join the Mad Lad and let me show you what I've been cooking up. Alright, so there's two builds that I want to break down and been using this previous season, and now that we know what the few of the aspects that we're getting and a couple of the fragments, we can really take a deeper dive and a deeper look at the setup. But let me break it down how it works this season, that way you can get a good grip on it, and then when the actual Arc 3.0 drops, you can take everything you learned from this video, maybe mix a few things up, make it your own style, and then just go crazy. The overarching concept or theme of the build really is to just get as much super as we possibly can. So I'm gonna show you the mod kit setup, which can help us get that, and then from there I'm gonna break down how everything works. So for your helmet and your bond, essentially you pretty much want to have those void. You also need an alternative void piece, probably in your boots is what I would recommend for energy converter, but I'll explain why a little bit later. So the whole way the build initially works is you want to get charged with light times 5 if you can, as much as possible, so you can use energy converter if you're below 50% of your super. Once you are charged with light times 4 or 5 and have a grenade to throw, you toss it, you'll be able to get a good chunk of our super energy, and then you'll be able to start the second half of the loop. Now the second half of the loop is when you're above 50%, you want to spam your rift when you're around enemies, and the reason why is because of the combo of your helmet and your bond. Both should have a unique combo, which I like to call D8, which stands for distribution and dynamo, and the reason is 8 is because both pieces cost 4, but that's neither here nor there. As long as you have a helmet and a bond that is void, this will allow you to have this setup. Now on both of these pieces also, you're also going to want to at least slot an elemental charge, which costs 2, so this will allow you to become charged with light. And then on your opposite one, since it's also void, you might as well go Reaping Wellmaker, because you're going to be using your rift a lot. You don't have to go Reaping Wellmaker, maybe go like the elemental light where you create arc wells when you use your super. That's an option as well, but I just like to go with this route. On your arms, chest, and boots, you're going to need at least 1 solar piece for supercharge, so you can hold up to 4 charges of light, and then you're also going to need 1 more void piece so you can slot on energy converter. That way when you toss your grenade, you'll be able to benefit from all that. And on the final armor piece, you can go any Wellmaker. Something like Elemental Ordnance or perhaps Melee Wellmaker will work really well right here. And that's the mod kit setup, which will work completely by itself independently from the aspects and fragments. But since we brought up aspects, personally, I'm thinking of equipping Electrostatic Mine, which will make ionic traces, and collecting them will allow me to become amplified after I get an arc ability kill or a kill on an arc debuff target. This will basically help me feed my loop continuously with ability spamming, and I'm probably also going to go with the arc soul so my rift regens quicker when I'm by my allies, giving me more opportunities to take advantage of the D8 combo. As far as fragments go, I don't want to speculate too heavily on them because we don't know how many slots each aspect can equip. However, the two that did catch my eye were Spark of Beacons, where when amplified, arc special weapons will create blinding explosions, and Spark of Shock, where the player's arc grenades now jolt enemies, both helping feed into the electrostatic loop, which should help create even more ionic traces, thus feeding your super even more. So all in all, you can see why I'm hype about Ionic Boltz, especially when paired with something like Cold Heart and an enhanced Thresh weapon. Looking at you, Phil Terradiddle. Alright, on to the next one, StormDancers Tempest. Okay, the current mod kit loop is themed around 2 things, super game and melee energy. With StormDancers, kills will increase the power of Emperor Palpatine, unlimited power, and refund 50% if done correctly, so there's no need for the energy converter setup. This mod kit is mostly about making 2 arc wells with the finisher mod, Overcharge Wellmaker, which will serve you 2 beneficial purposes. 1, which is collecting the arc well will give you melee energy because of Well of Striking, and then 2, becoming charged with light while having heavy-handed equip will give you half of that melee energy back. Not to mention the synergy with shotguns and fusions if you can proc the second perk on heavy-handed. Now, the main reason we went overboard in the melee ability is because of the currently limited bottom tree Arc's melee ability. This is an often forgotten powered melee, but with it being sunset, hopefully we'll see something new. However, hitting a target with this tech gives you an abundant amount of ability, energy, and super, all for just landing a charged melee ability. Obviously, by the time you're viewing this, or hopefully, Arc 3.0 is out, so I would just probably reevaluate and spec into the most beneficial super game, but think certain aspects similar to Void and Stasis subclasses, for instance, where you get defeats on frozen targets will grant you super energy, or defeats while surrounded will give you super energy on Void subclass. All things considered, ability kills will make Ionic traces, feeding the ability loop, and then you can also use the D8 combo to help push this build into the super spam territory. Since this build is set up for a melee ability spam, consider exchanging something like Arc Souls for the Lightning Surge aspect. That way you can take advantage of the cool new teleport melee that will also jolt targets, and this will also feed into Electrostatic Mind, which will help you collect more Ionic traces, allow you to become amped, etc, etc. And you can perform a finisher to gain more melee energy at any time because of Overcharge Wellmaker resetting the loop. Another mod I feel is often overlooked, however, bang for buck wise is probably one of the best ones. One simple finisher will allow you to make 2 Arc Elemental Wells, and with Arc 3.0 being a really big thing this season, I'm pretty sure we'll see more and more of this mod. All in all, these were some of my favorite builds to use on ArcLock, so I definitely can't wait to see what kind of shocking new synergy Arc 3.0 is going to bring, especially with the aspects and the fragments, not to mention the weapon combinations and the artifact mods. I'm definitely going to be ready to push these builds to their limits. Needless to say, I will revisit these builds and tweak with them later on in the season once we get a hand on them. I just wanted to share these setups with my Warlock mains out there. So, with that being said, thank you for joining me, and hope you enjoyed it if you made it this far. And as usual, if you like what you see, triple tap that like button for me. And if you enjoy the vibe, subscribe. It has been me in the present, talking to you from the past. I hope to catch you Guardians in the future. Adios. I'm Ghost. Guardian out.